Hello, it's Luke Michael Howard, PhD in clinical hypnotist, owner of Luke-Gnosis Hypnosis. And I'm often asked by potential clients, perhaps people like you, how many sessions does it take? And my next question to that is, how many sessions does it take to do what? To fix what? What are we working on? And typically people will say something like smoking. And typically when it comes to me working with a smoker, most people, most be about 60%, 60, 70% are typically done in one session. And by done, what I mean by that is they've reached a satisfying conclusion to what they want, i.e. they're not smoking. This is based on me following up with people for up to 2 years after the session. And of the people that do respond to me following up, they all are very satisfied with results. So about 60-70% when it comes to smoking are done simply in one session. There's probably about 30 to 35% when it comes to smoking that need a little bit more help. So it may take up to 4 sessions to overcome a smoking problem that they've had their whole life. So it's still pretty economical compared to everything else. When it comes to fears and phobias, probably typically about 50% of the people I see are typically done in 1 to 2 sessions. And what I mean by that is they do not suffer from the phobic responses anymore, and they're happy and they're satisfied with the result they got. So about 50-60% of people tend to be done in 1 to 2 sessions. And again, this is based on me calling or email, following up with people up to 2 years after the session. And of the people that do respond to me following up with them, they're satisfied with the results. And probably about 40 to 50% they may need up to 4 sessions working with me to overcome a phobia that may have run havoc in their whole life up to that point. So again, compared to how long you've had the problem, 2 to 4 sessions is absolutely nothing compared to how long people have suffered. When it comes to physiological problems, whether that be pain control, back issues, legs, knees, ankles, stuff where it revolves a physiological response and stuff like that. I tend to work, when it comes to pain specifically, I'll break it down into 2 categories. Pain, typically people start to see results on pain control using the hypnosis techniques I teach. Typically in about one session to 2 sessions, they have the tools to start to what's the word I'm looking for? Start to have more control of their pain and not suffer from such a high level of pain. They start to have more control. So you actually start to bring that pain feeling down basically within the first session. In fact, no one leaves a session with me, the first session, they never leave the first session without having the ability to dial down that pain response. That does not mean it's gone, completely disappeared. That's not what I'm saying, although that does happen from time to time, but I mean they see a marked improvement. But typically for pain control it may take anywhere from 1 to again 4 sessions to start to have a real grip of that. When it comes to physiological things, maybe clients that I've worked with that suffered from conditions like Bell's palsy or different forms of cancer and so forth like that. Physiological things can take anywhere from up to about 4 sessions, and on the very, very high level could take potentially up to 8 sessions. Again, but when you compare that to any other kind of therapy, whether that's hiring a personal trainer that typically you'd see 3 times a week for up to 2 years to see any results, which is, how many is that? That's probably about 300 sessions. Or when you can compare that to physiotherapy, which again is typically 1 or 2 a week, from anywhere from 6 months to a year. That is, I can't do the math right now, it's not my strong suit, but that's anywhere from like 30 to 50 to 60 sessions right there to start to get a result. When it comes to counselling and psychotherapy, there typically is not a beginning and an end date when it comes to those things. So it can go on indefinitely. And you don't have to look any further than Hollywood, where you see someone like Woody Allen, who's been in psychotherapy pretty much most of his life, or a Howard Stern, who's been in psychotherapy 3 times to 4 times a week for about the last 20 to 30 years, and they're still quite challenged in their life, shall we say. But when it comes to hypnosis, typically you will start to see differences, experiencing differences in your life pretty much immediately after the first session, and certainly within a couple of sessions. It's very powerful, and it's not something you have to do indefinitely for your whole life. I mean, it's good to use hypnosis, but you don't need to have someone work with you for the rest of your life about the same issue. Because pretty much the issue's gone or is completely controllable by you. And I also teach you skills where you get to be your own hypnosis, have total control of it, so you don't even need me anymore. Although I'd like to obviously still know how you're doing and stuff like that, but you have the ability, what I'm trying to say, to continue to work through issues or any issues that may arise that are not currently there in your life, so you can pretty much be your own hypnotist and have the ability to do that to yourself. So that's the gift I like to give. What I'm trying to say is I don't like codependent relationships. I don't like you having to rely on me, and if you're seeing me for anything other than a physiological, a deep physiological reason for more than 4 sessions, then something isn't working. And the clients I work with always work because I screen out the people that are not serious, are not committed, and I'm damn committed when I work with a client because this is all I've done for the last 20 years, and I'm pretty good at it. You just have to Google me and watch some of the videos or read some of the reviews. Don't take it from me, take it from the 50 or so videos that are on my website from over 50 different people, not the same person with 50 different problems. So please do your research well. That just answers the question of how many sessions does it take to fix something or gain control of it. I've been Luke Michael Howard of Luke Gnosis Hypnosis. Always believe.